Hi, welcome to the Audie Murphy American Museum, and today I'm going to be reading a story for everyone in honor of our temporary exhibit that's up for just another couple of weeks on children's books. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, make sure to stop by and see it while you can. And also in honor of Halloween, which is just right around the corner. So because of that, I'm going to be reading Cinderella Skeleton by Robert Sansucci for everyone. So this is a really cool little book. Cinderella Skeleton dwelt in boneyard acres near the wood. Third mausoleum on the right, decayed, decrepit, what a fright. On the door a withered wreath, invited guests to rest in peace. It was the pride of the neighborhood. Cinderella Skeleton was everything a ghoul should be. Her build was long and lean and lank. Her dankish hair hung down in hanks. Her nails were yellow, her teeth were green. The ghostliest haunt you have ever seen. Foulest in the land was she. Cinderella Skeleton's stepsisters treated her with scorn. Grisline was small and mean, and firmly packed with spite and spleen. Tall, bony Jane, a scatterbrain, was just as vile and twice as vain. They worked Cinderella from dusk till morn. Cinderella Skeleton, it seemed her tasks were never done. She hung up cobwebs every place, arranged dead flowers in a vase, littered the floor with dust and leaves, fed the bats beneath the eaves. She had no time for rest or fun. Cinderella Skeleton's stepsisters dressed in fancy clothes, but she had only hand-me-downs, the others torn and tattered gowns. Her shoes had worn out tops and soles. In fact, they were so full of holes, they showed off all her bony toes. Cinderella Skeleton asked for help with household chores, but stepmother Screech began to shout, "You're lucky I don't throw you out. My girls are gems. You're common clay. How dare you even think that they should streak the windows or strew the floors?" Cinderella Skeleton. More disappointments lay ahead. Prince Chard summoned one and all to his frightfully famous Halloween ball. When Cinderella begged to go, her stepmother sneered and told her, "No, you'll stay at home and work instead." Cinderella Skeleton watched the others leave in a hearse, Screech in mournful bombazine, her girls in mildew green sateen. Then Cinderella made this vow, "I'll get to the prince's ball somehow. I'm taking action for better or worse." Cinderella Skeleton. Off she marched without delay to the good witch in the wood beyond, who cast kind spells with a generous wand. The witch heard Cinderella's plea, then nodded, saying, "Bring to me some things I need, and right away." Cinderella Skeleton located what the witch required, a jack-o'-lantern, fiery-eyed, 6 rats a trap held, locked inside, 2 bats asleep and wings wrapped tight, a cat as black as moonless night, exactly as the witch desired. Cinderella Skeleton saw witch touch wand, tip-tap to all. The pumpkin turned to funeral wagon, the rats to nightmares, part horse, part dragon, the bats to footmen at the ready, the cat to driver holding steady, the steeds who'd speed her to the ball. "Cinderella Skeleton," the witch exclaimed, "you need new clothes." Her wand flashed magic to replace Cinderella's rags with a gown of lace, trimmed in silky ribbons and bows, while each worn shoe that showed her toes became a slipper with a satin rose. Cinderella Skeleton was eager to be on her way, but the good witch said, "Before you go, there's one important thing to know. You must return before the morning. If you fail to heed my warning, your joy will fade at the break of day." See your outfit? Cinderella Skeleton reached the ball and caused a stir. The guests all turned to stare at where she stood at the top of the palace stairs. As she swept down, she heard the buzz. of everyone wondering who she was. Then Prince Charmel bowed to her. Cinderella Skeleton heard Charmel say, "Your beauty burns like bonfires ablaze at night. Your brightness fills me with delight. Dance with me, lady, I implore." She smiled. He led her to the floor, where they waltzed with graceful dips and turns. Cinderella Skeleton, gazing into Charmel's eyes, was so in love she was unaware of each hateful murmur and baleful glare that Screech, Bony Jane, and Grisling aimed at the lovers' tender scene. She danced till dawn first lit the skies. Cinderella Skeleton recalled too late the witch's warning. She broke from Charmel's dear embrace and hurried to escape the place. Charmel cried, "You're my answered prayer," but Cinderella fled down the stair, distressed how near it was to morning. Cinderella Skeleton, her haste as haste will brought mishap, as she ran for her waiting carriage, pursuing Prince, shouting offers of marriage. She stumbled once, giving Charmel time to grab her foot and cry, "You're mine!" Then off her foot came with a snap. You see that one? Cinderella Skeleton, ignoring the thump of her footless stump, reached her coach and cried, "Away! I must be home by break of day." They raced pell-mell past the palace gate. The prince kept pleading, "Lady, wait!" In his hand a foot, in his throat a lump. Cinderella Skeleton, though near dawn her nightmare sped, but morning caught them in mid-flight. Coach shrank to pumpkin in the light. Cat, rats, and bats flittered away. Ragged and limping she faced the day, her heart still full, though the magic had fled. Cinderella Skeleton, her life grew day by day more grim. Her family worked her without rest. They knew Prince Charmel's mystery guessed. She drudged, but halfway through some chore, she dreamed she was out on a dancing floor, as Charmel asked her to waltz with him. Cinderella Skeleton, her image filled the prince's mind. His days and nights turned to a blur, whirling round memories of her. So lovelorn Charmel vowed, "I'll start a search for the one who stole my heart. She must be somewhere I can find." Cinderella Skeleton, "Until I find you, I will not rest," vowed Charmel, who traveled every place, with her slippered foot in a velvet case. But no one, duchess, milkmaid, crone, could match foot bone to ankle bone. Each snapped a foot off for the test. Cinderella Skeleton, locked up when Charmel came to call. Screech pulled her girl's feet off, 1, 2, saying, "Wire or glue, you're good as new. Surely it's worth this slight distress for the chance to be a true princess. Now hurry, the prince is in the hall." Cinderella Skeleton picked the lock with the longish pin. She heard Charmel's voice, his gentle tones, drowned by her stepsister's wails and moans. Bony Jane's ankle was too large and thick, and Grisling's thin as a withered stick. Then Cinderella came limping in. Cinderella Skeleton, while everybody stared wide-eyed, she bowed to Charmel with this request, "Please let me take your marriage test." Her foot bones snapped on and held fast. Charmel shouted, "A match at last! Here's my promised princess bride." Cinderella Skeleton, the rarest gem the world has seen, your gleaming skull and burnished bones, your teeth like polished kidney stones, your dampish silks and darkish hair, and dankish hair, there's nothing like you anywhere. You make each day a Halloween. Cinderella Skeleton soon was married to her prince, and they stayed happy ever after. Their kingdom filled with love and laughter. Screech, Grisling, and Bony Jane just shriveled with envy and shrank to dust, and no one's seen or missed them since. Awesome, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Hello, my name is Kristen Still and I'm the Assistant Director here at the Audie Murphy American Cotton Museum. And today I will be reading you Boris and Bella, written by Carolyn Crimmy and illustrated by Gris Grimley. All right. Bella Lugosi was the messiest monster in Booville. Her slime was the slimiest, her grime was the grimiest, her piles of lizard gizzards blocked the doorways, and her stacks of snake tails overflowed her counters. None of the other monsters could stand Bella's mess, so Bella lived by herself. See how messy her house is. Boris Clean It Off was the tidiest monster in Booville. He vacuumed his vampire bats, dusted his spider webs, and polished his pythons daily. No one could stand Boris's persnickety ways, so Boris lived alone. Bella and Boris were neighbors. They did not get along. "Clean up those crusty old cauldrons. I'm sick of your cluttered yard," Boris would shout. "Can't you stop those bewitched broomsticks from sweeping? They're driving me batty," Bella shouted back. And so it went, day in and day out. When Bella had a barbecue, she did not invite Boris. And on Valentine's Day, Boris sent chocolate-covered gargoyle boils to everyone but Bella. And then came Halloween. "I think I shall have a Halloween party," said Bella. She made a long guest list with everyone on it but Boris. When Boris heard about Bella's party, he decided to have his own. Who needs Bella's stupid shindig, he thought. He invited everyone but Bella. Both monsters mailed their invitations and both waited for the replies. "I'm not coming to your party," Frank Stein said to Bella. "Why not?" Bella shouted. "I'm going to Harry Beastie's party. His dust bunnies don't bite, and he makes great caterpillar cupcakes." Monsters called Bella for the rest of the day. Everyone was going to Harry Beastie's party instead of hers. Meanwhile, more monsters called Boris about his party. "I can't come to your party," said Maury Mummy. "Why not?" Boris demanded. "I'll be at Harry Beastie's party. He doesn't worry about claw marks scuffing the floor." Halloween night soared in on bat's wings. It was cold and dark, the perfect night for a party. Bella sat by herself in her messy cave. "Drat that Harry Beastie, my party would have been an absolute scream." Boris sat by himself in his tidy dungeon. "Drat that Harry Beastie, my party would have been frightfully delightful." Bella stomped out of her cave. She was going to give Harry a piece of her mind. Boris stormed out of his dungeon. "How dare that Harry Beastie ruin everything?" "Out of my way," yelled Bella. She pushed Boris aside and tromped into the party, tracking mud all over. "You get out of my way," demanded Boris. He pushed Bella back and wiped his feet on the mat. "Where's Harry?" both monsters yelled. The guests couldn't hear them. They were too busy shrieking and screeching. Said Bella. Said Boris. Bella and Boris wandered over to the buffet. Bella sniffed the snake spit stew. "Not as slobbery as mine," she said. Boris nibbled a maggot muffin. "Too much muffin, not enough maggot," he mumbled. Bella watched some monsters play pin the head on the headless horseman. "What a bore," she sneered. Boris eyed the monsters, bobbing for eyeballs. "What a snore," he said. Just then the Howling Wolfman Band burst into the monster mambo. Soon every ghoul in town was shaking and quaking. Cyclops bebopped and the Fang flip-flopped. The boogeyman boogied while the trolls swirled round. Bag o' Bones connected his hip bones to his neck bones just for fun. Maury Mummy was swinging so hard he came undone. "Look at them carrying on," Bella mumbled. "They're making fools of themselves," Boris said. The music played on, while the two monsters watched everyone else have a good time. Bella sighed. She loved to dance. Boris looked down at the floor. He hadn't danced in so long. Bella looked at Boris shyly. Maybe we should show them how it's done, she said. Boris smiled. We could try. When Bella and Boris came together, they discovered an amazing thing. You're just the right size, they cried. The two monsters galumphed and gallumped, all in perfect time to the music. They danced so well the other monsters cleared off the floor to watch. Not bad for a grime fighter like you, said Bella. And you're pretty good for the Queen of Unclean, said Boris. After their dance, they shared a bubbly cup of ghoul drool. When Bella wiped her mouth on her sleeve, Boris didn't say a word. And when Boris cleaned his cup with a handkerchief, Bella didn't tease him. At midnight, everyone lifted their cups and roared. In the corner of the room were the two friends, grinning at each other with their snaggletooth smiles. Happy Halloween, Boris cleaned off. Happy Halloween to you too, Bella Lugosi. From that night on, Bella tried to be a little tidier, and Boris tried to be a little messier. And then, when Halloween rolled around the next year, they threw the best bash Booville had ever seen. Together. All right, well, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the book. Happy Halloween!